Get ready for an unfair advantage over your competition. This is the Sales Edge podcast, where globally recognized sales expert and trainer Joe Pici helps you sharpen your skills for booking more appointments and closing more deals. And now, here's your host, Joe Pici.
Hey team, we all hear about the word pipeline used in the sales word. You know, it's a word that goes on and on and on. What's your pipeline? Do you have a pipeline? It's essential that we have a well-defined pipeline in your business. Today, we're going to discuss what a sales pipeline is, how it works, and the benefits of it. But before that, this is Joe Pici of the Sales Edge podcast number 360. Thank you to our sponsors, Pici and Pici Inc., sellmorevirtually.com, allowing us to afford upgrades and all of our information. Our entire studio has just taken a facelift, and we want to thank the sponsors, but we want to thank you for your loyalty. We want to thank you so much for expanding the globe, allowing us to be in your living room, on your car, on your, when you're running. Continue to stay with us, continue to spread the word. We want to help more and more people. So let's get to it. Where did this podcast come from? Well, the other day, Friday afternoon, we had a wonderful client come in, actually a couple, and they wanted some coaching. And we were talking about, I asked them, so how much money do you want to make in your business? And they gave me a number, to which I said, draw your pipeline on the board. And they did. I coached them up on their pipeline. They drew it up, and I said, okay, now put the numbers of the potential clients you have in every aspect of your pipeline. And they did. To which I said, what does your average transaction generate for you in a way of net income? And they told me. And then I said, I don't want to be too direct, but you cannot get to your number based on your pipeline. So let's talk about that. Your sales pipeline is a vital tool for managing your entire sales operation. It can be the difference maker in the growth of your business and your bottom line. Your pipeline is a visual way to measure every stage of your sales process. It will show you every deal, where it is in the aspect, and really, it'll tell you where it's stalling, where attention needs to be given, where maybe your time needs to be elevated with that client. Without a pipeline, you're going to lack valuable information. We all know this. Sales is a process. It's not a talent. It's not a gift. It is a process. Every single sale goes through a certain process. It is what we call the buyer's journey. And so, we should all have our pipeline, our sales process written out. So right now, if I was to ask you, pull over your bike, pull over your car, or sitting at your desk, wherever you're listening to this, could you draw out your pipeline? Some people have a horizontal model. Some people actually have a visual funnel. Whatever your model is, can you draw it out? Now, to which, what can you literally put a number in every aspect of your pipeline, your process? How many different potential clients do you have at every stage? Wherever you measure progress, you can improve it. Whatever you see in each segment should be divided out. So each segment of your process, each segment of your pipeline should coexist, but they should be separate. Your pipeline should line up with your sales process. So it shouldn't be a different look. It should almost be one and the same. And so that's so important. I know for me, I use a pipeline. We have different pipelines for different aspects of our business. So another major benefit of the visual pipeline, it's going to add a layer of accountability. And this is so important, whether you're a sales manager, whether you're managing yourself. By having a visual pipeline and a sales process, it does add to accountability. At any given time, I'm working with a client in the Midwest, and we've put together a sales process. We're working on pipelines. So at any point in time, the sales manager, the account manager can pull up these documents and see where every deal is, the activity is of that sales pro. It makes your sales goals easier to achieve by breaking your pipeline down to small, trackable tasks. This allows management and the sales pro to see exactly where the expenditures are, where your sales are, and other sales efforts that may need to be applied. So right now you're thinking, oh, okay, do I have a sales process? Then do I have a pipeline that coincides with that? And this is vital. Good sales pros should have many deals in process. And let me say this is very important. Good sales pros should have many deals in process. Pipeline management keeps you from anything from slipping through the cracks. You never want to work one or two deals from beginning to end. You want to have an overabundance of deals working throughout your pipeline, because as we know, well, as I was working with this couple, I asked them to draw a funnel. And of course, it was big on top, small on the bottom. And then we put the different categories that, we'll go through in a minute. But then I asked them to draw little holes in the funnel. Those holes represent places that prospects can kick out, that deals can kick out. Just because a deal goes into the funnel does not mean it's going to go to contract. It just means it's in the funnel. So anyone who's working just one deal, couple deals, falling in love with the deal from point A through completion is going to be sadly disappointed if that deal goes sideways. Again, this is not a bragging statement, but I put so many deals in the May funnel that I actually got 53 deals to the proposal stage. Now, I will tell you, 21 of those deals have already closed. But what if it would have been one or two? I said 53, we've closed 21. Now, that's just in a short amount of time, but what if the first 20 wouldn't have closed? This is the importance about filling up that pipeline. Your pipeline is a powerful tool for sales manager as well as yourself. It's going to give you a minute by minute picture. It's data, and data can be measured. What's working, what's not. As I assess my pipeline, I'm constantly saying, Joe, what's working for us? And what Dawn is asking right now, she's in the process of adding to our business of speaking, training, and coaching. She's going to be teaching, because of a big part of our business now has also moved into sell more virtually. So Pici and Pici predominantly is live speaking, coaching, training, whether it's in person, whether it's through a Zoom or whatever. Sell more virtually is mostly virtual, but I do on Thursday nights do a live virtual. However, we have to create funnels. Funnels are pipelines. And so Dawn's adding to our speaker bootcamp all of the funnels to our Sell More Virtually, our virtual business. So it's so important. Prior to building out your sales pipeline, here's what you're going to need to have. So now you've decided, Joe, you're right. I really need to maybe hone down here and develop a pipeline. But before you do, here's 6 things that you're going to need to have. You're going to have great clarity on. You're going to have to know this. Number 1, you have to know what your product and service is. So you better know that product. You better know that service. I have clients that they're hiring salespeople, and I tell them you have to, not only do we have to train them on sales, but you have to educate them on what your product is. The second one, Who is your target market? Because to create a pipeline, you have to be like a howitzer. You have to know, who am I aiming my marketing at? So who is your target market in the beginning of a business? The other night on sellmorevirtually.com, one of our coaching clients was saying, well, in the beginning, how do we know? Well, in the beginning, you have a shotgun approach until it begins to define itself. Down the road, your target market will begin to define itself. Number 3, what are the benefits, results, solutions that your product or service and you deliver? So what is it that they get once they use your product, service, or you? Number 4, what is your competitive edge? We call it your uniqueness, but what separates you from the pack? What do you do better than the rest? What is your secret sauce? That's important to know before you build out your pipeline. Then, what is your lead generation process? Can you write that down? I mean, all of the things I'm talking about, we go into tremendous depth in our 3-day sales boot camp, and also the mega course on sellmorevirtually.com has all of these components in it. Buy that course, live in that course, and all of these answers will be right in front of you that you can build out your whole process and pipeline. And number 6, you're going to have your entire sales process written down. And so these are the 6 things that you want to just put in place before you move into pipelining. So now let's say this. It is important to know that different businesses are going to have different pipelines. No 2 businesses act the same. And so, pipeline management, so to speak. Some people have an inbound business. Some people have an outbound business. Some people have a retail business. Whatever your business is, your pipeline is going to be slightly different. The number of stages in your pipeline will vary. So here's some questions before we move into this. And let me say this, if any of you would like personal help on creating your pipelines and process, give me a call at 407-947-2590. Let's set up a cup of Joe, but let's talk about some of the things that are going to need to go into a pipeline. You're going to have to see how you generate your leads. I just covered that. Number 2, how do you qualify those leads? I didn't say pre-qualify. Once you have a lead, how do you determine, are they qualified? Number 3, how do you approach these contacts and leads? What is your outreach? I mean, we use the phone to start. So many people may use email marketing, may use social media. Our good friend Joe Miller has come up with a secret sauce using video. So how is it that you contact your leads? Number 4, how you conduct your sales meetings, your core story, virtual, live. How is it that you do your meetings? Number 5, how do you write your proposals or your scope of work? That should all be part of this. These are all things that we've got to have in place. You just don't throw a pipeline in place. What is your follow-up process? That's number 6. When do you stop following up? How often do you follow up? This is all important. How do you close, sign your contract, and work your deposit? What is your process for that? Next, how do you deliver your products and services? And here, number 9, what methods will you use for tracking? Is it software? Is it whiteboards? Here at Pici and Pici and Sell More Virtually and the Sales Edge podcast, we do have a very robust CRM. And Dawn does a phenomenal job at adding people to it, doing ongoing touch points. It's just ongoing. I tend to use whiteboards and legal pads, and everything we have, though, is in a CRM, but also visually where I do my work. My office is called by my son-in-law my war room, but I have to see things. I use whiteboards. So by implementing and executing and updating your sales pipeline, you'll be able to track, improve, and forecast business growth. So many times people want to forecast business growth. Folks, you cannot forecast business growth without a pipeline, without a sales process, without all of the things I've discussed here. So, hey, team, first of all, I'm offering you a cup of Joe, a quick 10 to 12 minute complimentary call to see, do I have a pipeline? Is it effective? 407-947-2590. Second, if you like this podcast, can you like it? Can you share it? Can you write a great comment on it? We also want to invite you to visit Pici and Pici, but right now, sell more virtually. Consider being a member. Joe Pons told me yesterday, the sell more virtually investment is the best investment we offer people because for $1 a day, every Thursday night, 4 hours a month, you get me live doing a group mastermind, coaching, or training. Consider that at sellmorevirtually.com. So much content. Thank you so much for being part of the Sales Edge podcast. We look forward to future episodes.
Thanks for listening. New episodes will air each Tuesday and Thursday, so make sure to subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts and give us a 5-star review. The Sales Edge is sponsored by Pici and Pici Incorporated, a firm which provides training, consulting, and keynote presentations, empowering corporations and individuals to attract and retain quality clients for higher revenues and growth. Make more money in sales. Speak with Joe in person by calling 407-947-2590 or visit www.piciandpici.com. Spelled PICIAND, PICI.com.